everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm so excited to be making this video because I will be sharing a story time where I got hired at the mall and fired within 2 days, which is like crazy because that's like the shortest amount of time I've ever had a job. That's actually my second job that I ever had. I was trying to have 2 jobs at once and it didn't work out really well. So I'm going to be telling you guys exactly what happened, why I got fired, the situations that I was in, and why I'm glad that I got fired. So let's start from the beginning. Me and my boyfriend were going to Buffalo Spot, and it's kind of like far from, it's far from my house. It's like 20 minutes away. So we went, and literally 10 minutes away from Buffalo Spot is the mall. And it was still kind of early. It was like 3. And I was like, let's just go to the mall. Let's go walk around because I don't want to go home yet. It's still too like early for me to go home or whatever. So me and my boyfriend drive all the way to this mall. And this mall is like a popular mall. A lot of people who live in my area or even in that area, they go to that mall a lot. So I won't be sharing any information about them, names. All of the names are going to be made up. Even though I didn't sign any contracts, nothing, I'm still going to try to be decent enough to keep their information away from the public light. So, or YouTube light, I guess. But, so we went to this mall, and at Buffalo Spot, I actually was eating the hottest, like wings they had, which is Atomic Hot. And so me and my boyfriend were like, okay, let's go to the mall. We go to the mall, and when I'm at the mall, my stomach started hurting, and I was like, holy crap, like it's kicking now. It's like really like happening. So I was like, babe, like I'm gonna go to the restroom, stay here in the store. And we were inside a jewelry store, and the food court is the only place where there's a restroom. So I had to walk across a bunch of stores, a bunch of kiosks. If you guys don't know what kiosks are, they're basically like stores but not inside like little like buildings. I don't know how to describe it, but that's the best way I can say it. So I was walking down, and there's like makeup aisles, pictures, and a bunch of things, like people that walk up to you and be like, oh, do you want to try this out? Do you want to try this out? Like, this is good for you, this and this and that, or whatever. So this lady comes up to me. She was like, hey, like, can I try something on your hand? And I was like, oh yeah, sure. Like, I was in a really great mood that day. Normally I would be like, no, I'm fine. But for some reason today, or that day, I was like, sure, why not? So I'm actually going to show you guys the products that, the first product she used on me. So this is the exfoliating thing that she did on me. So this is what it looks like. And you literally grab a little bit. You grab the left side of your hand, because apparently what I got taught there is that your left wrist is lighter than your right one. So I heard. So then she grabbed my arm, she pulled my sweater back because I had a sweater on, and she was like, oh my god, your makeup is so beautiful. Like, have you ever thought of like working in like a makeup place, you know? And I was like, oh my god, that's my dream. Like, I've always wanted to work at a place where it's like makeup. And so I was like, yeah, like I'm down. And she was like, oh, we're actually hiring. So when I heard that, I was so freaking stoked. I was like, holy cow, like, yes, sign me up. I want to work here. Like, it looks like a lot of fun. So then they actually gave me an interview in the spot. The manager is always there. The owner, I guess, is always there. He's never not there. There's always a manager on site. So then she brings me to the owner of the little place, and she was like, oh, like she wants to work here, this and that. And I don't know what else she said. She whispered something in his ear, and she left to go to continue doing her job. What his name was. So we're just gonna call him Zed or something. That's not his real name, but let's just call him Zed. So Zed was talking to me. He was like, okay, so what is your like background? Like, what are you good in? Your makeup looks really nice, this and this and that. So I told him everything that I can do makeup wise, and he's like, oh, have you ever worked in retail? And I was like, actually no, like I work in like the fast food. And he was like, okay, that's fine, you know, this and that. He gave me an iPad. He made me write down my name and my last name, my phone number, the days that I can work, and what I'm like specialized in, I guess. And that was that, and I left and actually ran up to my boyfriend. I was like, holy crap, like, you will not believe what just happened to me. This is like stuff that doesn't happen to me. I never get lucky. I never am those type of people that something amazing happens to. So the fact that something like this happened to me because of my skills, girl, I was like, yes. So I ran up to Chris, my boyfriend. I was like, oh my god, babe, guess what? And I told him the whole story, and he was like, that's crazy, like, that's good. Like, he was so genuinely happy for me. So he was like, obviously it takes a while for them to call you back. It took, I think, like 2 weeks for him to call me, and he was like, hey Bridget, blah blah blah, it's Zed, I wanted to know if you are still available to work here. And I was like, of course. So he was like, okay, on Wednesday, just come in. Your attire is all black, and just come in with a notebook. And I was like, for sure, like, I'll be there. And he told me actually to go in at 10, but don't forget that I am in high school and I don't get out of my class until like 12:50, almost 1. So I was like, actually, can I push it back to like 1? And I forgot that I still need to go home. I needed to change. I knew that I had to put makeup on that day because I needed to look decked out and make a good impression. So obviously I already did that morning. I also did my hair. And so then I was like, actually, can we just push it back to 1:30? And he was like, just come in at 2, don't worry. So I get there at 2. And I bring in this book right here. This is the book that I bring in. It's such a cute book. I literally had nothing else but this book and a pen. And obviously my purse. And I was obviously wearing all black. And so he was like, okay, hey, this and this and that. So the first thing he did was show me around how to use the computer, how to like check people out, how to look for products, how to look for how much each product costs. And when I was there, I was already in the system. But the thing is that when he was typing in my name, he typed in my name completely wrong, which this should have been the first red flag, is that he didn't know my name and how to like spell it correctly. Like, if you're gonna be working for a company, they should know your correct legal name. And he didn't. He spelled it Bridgette, like that. And I know there's way, like, I don't blame him. Actually, no, he did not spell it like that. I actually have proof on how he spelled it. I have it in this book because they give you he spelled it like that the second time. This is how he had it in the computer though. He actually printed out a copy of like my work thing or whatever. So this is how he spelled my name. Bridgette. And I was so naive, and I was too scared to let him know that that's not how you spell my name. Because, like, I don't know, I feel like that's embarrassing for, like, the owner to be like, you'd be like, oh, that's not how you spell my name, like, you spelled it wrong. But eventually I did, and he was like, of course, like, yeah, I'm sorry. But he never changed it. The second red flag that I got is that when you're working, again, for a company, like a legal company, they always ask you for your social security no matter what. And if you don't have one, I don't know how that works, but I know that every single job that I tried to apply to, it was like, oh, in the applications, like, do you have a valid social security, this and this and that, right? Never asked me for social security, not once. And he actually asked me for my age, and he was like, oh, I'm 18. And I am 18. I wasn't lying. I had just turned 18 when when they, like, found me, I guess. And I was like, yeah, I'm 18. But the thing is like, he never asked for an ID, no nothing, no, like, proof of my age. He just went with it. And what's crazy is that, like, anyone can go to this job, work at this job, even if they're, like, murderers, killers, like, this and this and that. I might be, like, exaggerating, but, like, they never did a background check. They never did nothing. So that kind of scares me that, that this type of stuff happens. Anyway, so he shows me around the area, and he's like, oh, this is the stuff. And I initially thought that I was going in working with makeup, but at the end, it was just skincare products that I was selling. I was never selling makeup, which sucks. But, so this is my notes. So these are my notes that I took when I was there. Like, my complete notes. I think that's it. I don't think, oh yeah. So I wrote like 3 to 4 pages of notes, like 3.5 pages of notes. and it talked about the price, the lowest I can go in a product. Another trick that I learned is, like, let's say, this is not how much this costs, I forgot how much this costs, but off the top of my head, let's say this is like $20. And you go in and they're like, oh, like, how much does this product cost? They're interested in it, you got them intrigued and stuff. Be like, oh, this is $20, but for you, since you're such a new customer, I'll give it to you for $15. But first, you need to see if they're, like, okay with spending $20. You don't off the bat be like, it's $20, but I'll give you to you for $15. You do, oh, it's $20, and you just wait and be like, oh, this product is like $20. And if they're, like, thinking about it, they're, like, not sure they want to spend the $20 on this product, be like, you know what? Since you're a new customer, since you're being friendly, this and this and that, I'll give it to you for $15. But, like, that's the initial price we're supposed to sell at, but we boost up the prices to make it look like you're getting a deal, which you're not getting the deal. You're basically paying the price that you're supposed to be paying. And if you get fooled into actually paying, like, the $20, that's just money that we earn from the product. And regardless if you don't spend the $20 and you only spend the $15, we still get money from the product. So yeah, so the product that I was most familiar with was this one. Again, this is the same one that the other woman showed me on my hand, and it's basically like an exfoliator, and it took off all my dead skin. Excuse me. So this is, the first day I obviously took notes, okay? That's basically that. The second day, he put me on floor. So this was my best friend, and this is actually the one product that I sold. So we would walk around and we would have this open. The cap wouldn't be like there, and there was a Q-tip in there. So we would walk around, we would have like little cards and be like, oh, this is for you, this is for you. Like, they showed me how to intrigue people, how to get people, how to like investigate people, basically, like bother them. And I always tell myself, like, I'm never gonna be one of those people. Those people are so annoying. How can they work at that job? But that's just a part of the hustle. You need to hustle in order to stay on top in these type of jobs. And I have so much more respect for these people who do this, because it is so hard to maintain that type of like thing, like the type of the hustle that they have. And the minimum requirement that how many products we have to sell minimum a day was 200. But he was like, don't worry, like, you're just in training, this and that. I was just in training. Whatever. So the thing that I would say for this is, let me see your hand. So I like obviously would pull back their hand. I'll get the product Q-tip, I'll put it on their hand, and I'll start rubbing it. And once the dead skin starts coming out, I'm like, this product is so good, you're gonna love it. Do you use makeup? Because I use makeup. I'm like, you know what? I hate when sometimes I get really dry, and right now, since it's like the winter time, your face is dry, it's not moisturized, this and that, and I'm like, I love this product to use before I put on my foundation, because it takes up all the dead skin, so it doesn't so when you put on your foundation, it doesn't cling to your dry spots, so it leaves your face completely smooth and clean and flawless. It makes it look like just so beautiful, like airbrushed. And that's how I sold my first one. So, which was crazy, because I never thought in a million years I would sell anything. I feel like I was pretty good, but the fact that I only made one sell in the 3 days that I was working there, I feel like that was kind of bad. Well, the first day I was just writing notes. The second day I sold one product. But you know what? If it was only my second day, and that was the first time I was ever put on floor, and the fact that I could sell something the first time I was put on floor should have been like, damn, this girl got hustle, right? No. So then the weekend comes around, and I wasn't about to quit my job, because I didn't know for sure like if this was gonna be a job that I wanted to go to. Because remember that I said in the beginning of the video that this is a 30-minute commute. I don't have a car, I don't have a license, and most of my family doesn't come out until like way later out of work, like 4 or 5 or 6. And my sister comes out at 2:30, but she has her own life herself, and she has a kid, so I can't be asking her, can you take me here, can you take me there? The only times that like I never used an Uber but once, and my boyfriend would take me, but I felt so bad because that's like an hour commute each like day basically, and then he would still have to come back over here to where we live, well, where I live, to go to work, and then he has to get out of work and go all the way home, which is like another 30 minutes. So it's like an hour and 30 minutes a day. and I felt so bad for him because he was wasting so much gas, and I was like, holy cow, like, I'm so sorry. Like, once I get my paycheck from here, I will give you the money for the gas, which I didn't mind. I don't care. Like, he was doing me the favor at the end of the day. So, yeah. And so, if you guys are wondering how much I was getting paid an hour, California minimum wage is $12, but I was getting paid under minimum wage, which was $10 an hour, $10.50 or something like that, which is like the old minimum wage. So I was like, oh my god, like, why are they paying me so little? Like, this and this and that. And I had ended up telling my mom, and she was like, what the hell, like, why are they paying you so little? But I was so excited, I was so brainwashed that I did not care on how little I was getting paid. And I remember this one time, this is like the fourth red flag, I don't remember which one I was on, but I was like, hey, like, how much, am I getting paid, like, in cash, or am I getting paid in, like, check? Because if you get paid in cash, that's basically, like, illegal because you're not doing taxes on the money that you're receiving. And I didn't know whether or not I was getting paid cash or check, and I was completely lost. I was like, holy cow, like, what the fuck? And he was paying me for the hours that I was doing in training. And he was like, oh, like, don't worry, I'll tell you all about that later. And I was like, why are you gonna tell me later? Like, just tell me now, that because I'm asking you, like, right now, like, I want to know. And I guess he was scared that I was gonna, like, say something or, like, not want the job. And actually on the last day that I was working there, like, the last day, I asked the same girl that, like, gave me the job, basically, and I was like, hey, do you guys get paid cash or in check? And she was like, oh, everything is in cash, which is, like, really, really good. And I was like, oh my god, I was doing some illegal ass work. Holy cow, you guys, I cannot believe that. Like, what? Oh my god, it was crazy. Like, when I got my first check from this place, it was $60. $60 motherfucking dollars. And remember when I said I took an Uber? The Uber was $10 from the mall to my house. So basically, just in that Uber ride, I wasted, like, an hour of my time there, which is crazy because, like, if my boyfriend wasn't there to take me those hours, those days, so I would have wasted $10 going there, $10 back, that's already $20, and then the second day, which is $10 going there and then $10 coming back, that's $40, meaning that I only make $20 from that job, which is so fucking stupid. And I don't know how the hell I ever thought this was ever gonna work out, but finally he texted me or whatever, and he was like, hey, like, when can you work again? And I was like, I can't work on Friday because I have my second job on Friday, and then I can't work on Sunday because I have my other job on Sunday. And I guess that gave him, like, a bad taste in his mouth that I can only work certain hours because my school schedule, and because I only could work one day out of the weekend because of my other job. And so he ended up texting me the day that he didn't text me after that, and then it rolled around, I think, like, Monday, and he texted me. He was like, hey, can you come in on Wednesday? Like, we will no longer continue training, this and this and that. And I was like, why, what happened? He was like, don't worry, like, I'll explain everything when you're here. Okay, so I was like, okay, whatever. So I show up to my job, and I was like, hey, but he had a client with him, and the client actually wasted a lot of money. She wasted, like, $200 on these products, $200 motherfucking dollars. And I'm like, wow, these products, first of all, I don't know what these products are, so this is, like, the brand, and I looked them up on, like, Amazon and eBay, and you can find these on eBay and Amazon. And I remember he was like, oh yeah, we have, like, 2,000 pounds of, like, stuff, this and that, or whatever. Anyway, so he couldn't talk to me until, like, 30 to an hour later, minutes later, because he was working with this fucking lady. I'm like, dude, if you're gonna fire me, just fire me and get it over with. Like, you can continue doing whatever the fuck you were doing with this customer. Don't be wasting your time if it's gonna say, like, 5 minutes of my time. If it's only gonna take 5 minutes of your time, you get me? So he was like, just go walk around and I'll help you right now. I'm like, what the fuck? Okay, so an hour goes by and I come back and I'm like, hey, and I just stood there because I was like, I already walked around the whole fucking mall. The mall isn't big, by the way. I walked around the whole damn mall. Like, I don't need to buy anything. Like, I just want to get my money and leave. So finally he comes and the lady fucking leaves, right? She buys whatever the fuck she buys and she leaves. And he gets, like, the money out of the register and he goes to the back and he's like, okay, so, you know, this, like, I'm just saying that I get about 1,000 girls, 200 to 300 girls every single time, and I've trained so many women. I've been in this industry for 10 years, this and this and that, and he basically gives me like a sob story and being like, yeah, and I just feel like you're not a good fit. And I'm like, how the fuck do you know if I'm not a good fit? Like, obviously it's 2 days of me working. I'm not gonna be professional in 2 days. Like, I've never worked in retail, which I told you in the beginning that I never did. So he fucking fired me, and when I opened up my check, it was $60. But mind you, I gave 20 to my boyfriend for gas. So I only got 40 stanky ass dollars from that job. 40. And then mind you, I spent $10 on an Uber. So technically I got 30 fucking dollars for working 2 days. 2 fucking days. And woo! I'm so happy that I'm not working in there anymore. Like, I'm better than that. Please subscribe to this channel. Please hit the notification bell button if you ever want to get, please hit the notification bell button to get notified every single time I upload a new video. And yeah, I'll see you guys later. Mwah! Bye guys.